Stop consuming and start creating. Something that I hear is that a lot of people deal with over-consuming, over-analyzing, trying to gain as much knowledge as they can before they take action on something. And that's something that I struggled with before I jumped into investing in real estate or in starting a business. I wanted to learn as much as I could by watching videos online, reading books, and just doing research on Google. I was trying to figure out every step that I needed to take before I took it. And I feel like this is the wrong way to go about things because it's impossible to know everything that you're going to deal with, every single step that you're going to take to achieve what you're trying to do. Whether it's starting a business or starting a job, you're never gonna know what you're going to deal with until you run into that step or that obstacle. And that's something that I learned because something that I struggled with before I started investing in real estate was I wanted to know what the best strategy was and what the step was for buying a property, what I was gonna deal with exactly before I took action on it. There was a point that I realized that no matter how much content or how much research I consumed, I wouldn't learn until I took the first step. Once I actually started taking action and starting going through the process of buying my first investment property, I came across obstacles that I never knew that I would deal with and that I couldn't find an answer to online because nobody had posted about it yet or it wasn't a common issue. So I couldn't find anything that could help me in that situation at the time from doing research. And not only that, but I didn't know that that was an obstacle that I would even face until I came across it. Something that I realized was that I was doing a lot of research. There was a lot of obstacles that I was trying to figure out how to solve that I never even dealt with. So not only by doing a bunch of research do you sometimes not find an answer or solution to a specific situation that you're in, but you waste time because you're doing a bunch of research most of the time on things that you're never gonna deal with in your specific situation. So I'm not saying that doing research or analyzing a strategy or a business or doing research before you start something is not good, because it's definitely necessary, but there's a duality to it. There's doing research and analyzing and then taking action and actually creating something. So it needs to be a balance of both. And a lot of people get stuck in over-analyzing or trying to gain a certain amount of knowledge before they start something. And I feel like this is backwards. This is something that our education system kind of wired into us because you're doing a bunch of research on a topic before you take the test. And that's what's gonna dictate whether you pass the test or not. But the problem is that's mainly on memorization as well. So it's not something that's applicable to real life, because in life, it's usually the other way around, where you will do minimal research or you gain an understanding on the process, but then you take action and you learn as you go. And that's something that I learned has set me apart from people who said that they were going to invest in real estate and, and a person that actually took the first step, and I've bought 7 properties now. So I knew a lot of people and I was thinking, oh wow, everybody's gonna do this. At the time when I was saying that I wanted to invest in real estate or get into real estate, it sounded like, oh, everybody's gonna do real estate. It's not something special. But you start to realize as you start doing it that you start to separate yourself from the people who are actually doing it, from the people who are just doing the research and saying they're going to invest in real estate. Because most people don't actually take action on the things that they're saying they're going to, and it's because they get stuck in just consuming, thinking that they need to have a certain amount of knowledge or to have a degree or a certain level of intellectual expertise in the subject before they can take action on it. And there's nothing that's gonna teach you more than the experience of actually going through the process of taking the first step or taking the steps yourself because you'll have a direct relationship experience with what you're talking about. It's not going to be coming from hypothetical, it's going to be coming from true experience. Something that I learned was that at a certain level, at a certain point, God wants you to stop consuming things because you're only filling your intellectual mind, and it becomes a dopamine hit to try to learn something new or to learn a little bit more about what you're wanting to do, rather than actually taking action and start creating. There's a verse in the Bible where Jesus talks about a tree that doesn't produce any fruit, and he curses it to die because it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing when it has all the resources. And I think it's just a symbolic message to teach us that if we're given all the resources to create but we don't, we might as well be dead in that sense. Why are we not fruitful? Why are we not producing? Why are we not creating? And it's because we're stuck in a cycle of consumption, and we need to start taking action to start producing and start creating something, because the only way that anybody can benefit from the knowledge that you have, or the talent or the gifts that you can give to the world, are from taking action. It's not from keeping it inside. God made us to be in his own image. So what this means to me is that I need to actually create something by taking action. Symbiosis of doing research and taking action at the same time. And sometimes people are only taking action without consuming, and I also think that's bad. But a lot of people, and I feel like it's partly because of the way that we're taught in Western society, is to overconsume without taking action, and learning how to integrate both taking action and doing research as you are going through the process to be efficient, to grow exponentially. Because I feel like action without knowledge is very limited and it lacks depth, but knowledge without action is stagnant. It doesn't actually create anything. And you need to learn how to reconcile the duality in the nature of these two concepts and to truly create something. In Proverbs 16:3, it says, "Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established." You won't always know exactly what the process might look like or what the journey would look like, but by taking the first step, you'll start the process of understanding what the journey will look like, because you will see what the second or third step is that you need to take just by taking the first step. And sometimes you won't see that just by analyzing it hypothetically. Another example of this is in fitness. If you're just consuming a lot of information on nutrition and fitness plans without actually taking action and doing it yourself, it's just going to be useless. You're not going to see any results from it. And I've done this before as well, where I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't taking action on it. So you don't see any results. And if I were to try to give that information to anybody else, they're going to see me and my body and my health as a representation of the knowledge that I have, and they're gonna think that that doesn't work because I don't practice it. I don't allow that information to manifest into reality because I'm not actually applying it. In this way, it's better to be taking action and learning as you go, so you're able to apply it as you're learning, and you'll be a living representation, a physical representation of what you're talking about, of the experience and the knowledge that you have. There's a parable in Matthew 25:14 through 30 where those who use what they're given are given more, but those who bury it lose everything. And I think that's just another example of you're given a lot of opportunities to show your talent, your gifts, and if you're not using it, then you'll not only lose that talent, but probably other things that come with it in your life. By actually practicing it, by creating stuff and allowing people to benefit from the talent that you have by serving other people with a service, with a business, with something that you may have that is beneficial to other people. It's not only a benefit to you to show it because you can get compensated for that, but it's actually a benefit to other people to receive it as well, because it can help them elevate themselves. It can help them become a better version of themselves mentally, physically, or spiritually. So everybody has a gift, a talent, or knowledge that they can give to other people to help them. There's something that you have more experience in your life than other people do. It doesn't have to be something crazy to be creators. Everybody has a unique experience, and there's something that you can teach other people, or a service that you can provide, or a business that you can create to help other people. This is a message for you to start taking action on that now. Stop consuming and just start producing and start creating.